How can the United Kingdom support the president in a trade analysis, in trade discussion? What do you need to see out of 10 Downing Street to assist this president towards where the United Kingdom would like him to be on trade?
I think there's two levels to it. First of all, there's our bilateral discussion with the US through something we call a Trade and Investment Working Group that met for the third time in Washington last week, and that is addressing a whole series of issues between us as we go forward. But then most importantly at the minute is the dialogue between the EU and the US. Trade Commissioner Malmström was also in Washington last week talking to Commerce Secretary Ross and USTR Bob Lighthizer. Before that, there was a trilateral dialogue between the EU, the US and Japan. So I think the bottom line is we're engaging at all levels. We all have a shared interest in a global economy that is open, that allows trade and investment to flow, that has benefited both the UK and the US enormously over the past decades, and we think it has to go forward.
All right, how does it go forward, Antony Phillipson? Are you worried that actually now also with Labour having a second proposition, Theresa May is just not strong enough to be able to negotiate directly because she's not seen as the ultimate person that says yes or no to the deal?
I think it's very clear that the Prime Minister is the person who says yes or no to the deal. It's her government who's negotiating with the EU. As I just said, it's her government who've achieved the agreements on both withdrawal at the back end of last year, on implementation last week, and will continue to take forward with a very clear mandate and very clear negotiating authority, the negotiating about the future partnership over the coming weeks and months.
Right. But at the same time, it's Parliament, really, that has a final say on the deal. So does that take away from the Prime Minister?
No, because I think the Prime Minister will negotiate a deal that we've made clear will come back to Parliament for a vote. But I don't think there's any doubt that it's this government that is going to negotiate and bring it back, and then we will win the vote in Parliament.
All right, Antony Phillipson, if you were to pinpoint the two main sticking points, and I don't know, to a trade, so it's very difficult to see, come a year from now when the EU needs to, break up with the UK, it's difficult to see what kind of trade deals the UK could get. How long would it take for the UK to have a deal with the US? Are we talking 10 years like it took Canada to do?
I think, as I mentioned, we've begun discussing with the US, while being very conscious of our obligations as a European member state, how we might take forward a discussion with the US in terms of which are the sectors, which are the areas where we will want to deepen and strengthen our relationship with the US. That will continue to build momentum as we get towards March next year when we leave the EU. The implementation period agreement makes clear that we can negotiate and sign agreements during the implementation period, and we will build momentum, as I say, towards that objective. What exactly that agreement looks like and how long it takes will be, as ever, a matter of a negotiation, but there is a very deep and quite obvious political commitment on both sides to doing this deal.